We're diving into some heavy stuff today.
Yeah.
A pretty tough story.
Absolutely.
We're looking at this report from South Korea. It was in New Delhi.
Okay.
About a BMW car salesman, Mr. A. Sadly, he took his own life.
Tragic.
And it's such a stark reminder of the kind of pressure that salespeople face. You know, just how much is too much.
Right. And it's interesting because it really highlights the kind of, systemic problems in sales.
Yeah.
I mean, on the surface, it's a personal tragedy, but this is a theme we see.
Yeah. And the article really dives into some of that. Like Mr. A, he was allegedly forced into debt.
Wow.
Because he was having to discount cars.
Oh, wow.
So heavily to hit those sales targets. And then to make matters worse, he was posting online about it, talking about how trapped he felt.
Oh, geez.
Almost like this vicious cycle, no way out.
Right. So this is kind of, a lot of people think about sales, they think, oh, commission, big money, big money, big money. But it's also precarious.
Yeah.
Because you are always chasing that next sale. You're always chasing that next deal. And sometimes that means sacrificing your own margins to hit those numbers.
And that just has to mess with you, right? I mean, mentally.
Absolutely, yeah.
If we connect this back to the bigger picture.
Right.
Always needing that sale no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's got to take its toll.
Yeah, creates this constant pressure, uncertainty. And, for Mr. A, this new daily report, it's suggesting that pressure was made worse by the debt from those discounts.
Right, like a snowball.
Yeah, snowball.
The more you have to discount to hit those numbers, the deeper that hole gets.
Exactly.
And the more pressure to sell.
Right. So what has been BMW Korea's response to all of this?
Well, officially, they're verifying details is their statement.
Okay.
And this is the thing that I found really striking.
Yeah.
They're at the same time recruiting for the same position.
Oh, wow.
Same position that Mr. A held.
Wow.
Still promising those high salaries. It's a little bit, I don't know, is it tone deaf?
Yeah, on the one hand, you've got the, acknowledgement,
Right.
but then it's also like business as usual.
Right.
It really raises the question, responsibility.
Yeah.
Even if BMW Korea wasn't, directly aware, you have to wonder about the sales system.
Yeah.
And if it kind of fostered this pressure cooker.
Right. And now the South Korean Ministry of Employment and Labor might actually get involved, right?
They might, yeah.
That was in the New Daily Report.
So they're going to look at whether workplace stress was a factor in the suicide. And just for context, for something to be classified as an industrial accident in South Korea, it has to be directly related to the work environment.
Okay.
So they would have to prove that pressure was a direct factor in his death.
But proving that link between workplace stress and suicide.
It's incredibly difficult.
Yeah. It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
Even though we all know that stress contributes.
Absolutely. And this is where you get into this broader issue of legislation and the way these things are set up.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily encompass all of these complexities of mental health. It's very difficult to quantify the cumulative impact of that kind of stress.
So even if it doesn't end up being called like an industrial accident,
right,
officially, doesn't it make you wonder?
It does, yeah.
About what we even consider a workplace hazard.
Yeah.
In today's world, it's not just those physical dangers anymore.
Absolutely. It really makes you reconsider because we are in a world where the mental demands of a job can be as bad, if not worse, than some of the physical dangers.
Right. And this isn't just BMW.
Right. This is not a BMW issue.
This isn't even just car sales.
Exactly.
This is everywhere.
Right. This is hitting these targets. This is the constant pressure to outperform. This is woven into the fabric of so many industries.
So what do we do about it? It sounds like it's this huge issue.
Well, I think there's a couple things we can consider. Right. First of all, thinking about alternative compensation models.
Okay.
Moving away from purely commission.
Okay.
Or incorporating some safeguards that protect employees from taking on too much risk.
Right. But then what about those high performers who really thrive in that kind of that commission high stakes environment?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And that's something that would have to be considered. But I think maybe, some sort of hybrid model where you have a base salary, but then you also have performance-based bonuses that are maybe capped to prevent those unsustainable situations.
That's one thing. What else?
Well, I think also mental health support within these companies.
Yeah.
So providing resources, creating a culture where employees feel comfortable seeking help.
Yeah, because it's not easy to admit
Absolutely.
that you're struggling when you're in that environment.
It's hard, yeah.
Like high stakes, high pressure.
It's hard. And then finally, I think this is maybe something that's not talked about as much. But raising awareness amongst consumers.
Okay.
You as the consumer, you play a role in this. How often are we demanding the lowest price?
Right.
Maybe without even thinking about the pressure that's putting on that salesperson to make that deal.
It's a tough question.
It is.
But we got to ask it, right?
Yeah.
So this whole story, it's incredibly sad.
It is, yeah.
But it makes us really rethink how these systems work.
Absolutely.
And even our own roles.
Yeah.
Both as consumers, but then also in our own careers.
Absolutely.
So maybe the biggest takeaway here is just to be mindful of the pressure we put on others ourselves.
Yeah.
And think about that human cost
of
the choices we make, especially in that pursuit of the good deal.
Right, because sometimes the price we pay can be a lot higher than we even realize.
Yeah.
Individually, collectively.
Yeah. Right.
So that kind of leaves us with this question, I think. If we can't always rely on those legal definitions, like industrial accident, to capture that whole impact, of workplace stress, how do we redefine as a society what a safe and healthy work environment really is in this day and age? Something for all of us to consider moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining us on this pretty tough deep dive.
Appreciate it.
See you next time.